Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast, and it's down. It's a chilly morning too. It's starting to feel like fall here in Connecticut. It's down to about 50 this morning, 52. Starting to feel like fall in New England. All right, all seriousness. I want to talk about Trump and his claims that he didn't want to panic the American people. I don't know if Fox supporters are hearing or reading what are hearing Trump's actual own words. I don't. I looked on Fox News this morning, and I don't believe they're playing the excerpts at all. So, as usual, I don't think Trump supporters really know what's going on in America. They're getting a spun version. I'm going to talk about that more later in another video. But so, if you listen to these tapes, it's his own words. And you could hear what he knew back on January 15th, on January 28th. And then they say you hear what he said to Woodward, and then you hear what he says to the American people. And there's a huge valley, a huge chasm in between what he's saying to us and the truth as he knows it. Okay, so he did this, as he says, he didn't want to cause panic. And in the words of his spokespeople, he didn't want to make it sound like the sky was falling. He didn't want to be Chicken Little. So he's saying, and then the Trump supporters are more than happy to believe this. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We couldn't have handled that. We would have ran around like like chickens with our heads cut off, bumping into each other with axes, starting fires in the street. Thank you, Mr. President, for shielding us and not telling us the truth. There's Trump supporters. And this is the thing. Right there, I think that's an insult to the American people. It really is. If you look throughout all of our history, through AIDS, through 9/11, through everything that we've gone through in this country, Pearl Harbor, during times of crisis. This is the thing that still makes me so proud of America, is that we come together. Remember September 11th? We all came together. It was a time of crisis. And I think it brings up resolve. This is one of our great strengths, I think. Resolve, we come together, we form plans, and we tackle it. This is how we survived for the last 200 years, 200 plus years, 230, 40 years. And I think it's an insult. It's as if he's treating the American people like children, that they can't handle the truth, not telling them the truth, shielding them from the truth. They didn't want them to panic. That's, to me, it's an insult. Trump supporters, apparently they're more than happy to be treated by children, by Big Daddy Trump, apparently. Me, no, not so much. All we needed was the truth. Now, when you hear Trump say it, or his spokespeople say it, they talk about panic and the sky's falling. No, that's not what we want. That's not what any American wants. We just want the simple truth. We want the facts. The facts and only the facts, ma'am. That's it. It's an insult. All right, now on to some new comments from yesterday. With the situation in California, the wildfires. He went to California and he sat down with the leaders in California. And he's tended to blame all of this on forest management. And one of the things that truly bothers me about Donald Trump, it's not about anything had to do with Republican, about to do with the debt. Does nothing to do with taxes or anything. It's got to do with his denial of the environment, of climate change, of having any concern for our environment. Like I said, my father was a DEP forest firefighter. I've told you guys before, I'll post a picture. There's a picture of him. He was Smokey the Bear in the town parades here, where he rode the ladder through town in the parade, and he would throw out lollipops to the kids, and all the kids would chase the truck trying to get lollipops. And there's a picture of Smokey the Bear holding me in his arms, like when I was 3 years old. That was my dad. So yeah, Yeah, I don't take too kindly to Donald Trump's comments. This is something I don't know if most American people know, and I'm going to leave all the links. There's more than enough evidence that 2 out of every 3 acres that have been burned are federal lands in charge, being controlled and protected by Donald Trump and his administration. 2 out of 3 of the acres that have been burned under Donald Trump's control, his administration's control. So as he sits there and blames this all on forest management, who's managing him? He and his administration are managing 2 out of every 3 of these acres that have been burned. Like I said, I'll put the links down below for this. I was surprised myself that it was that much, and I double checked this, and fact check me if you want. Okay, and then this drives me crazy too, because climate change. He was just in total denial yesterday, and not just of climate change, but of science itself. And this is one of the things that just scares the life out of me. The 4 more years of this, it makes me feel like we've gone back literally to the dark ages, to the ages of superstition and feudalship, mayhem, burning books, denial in science. Seriously, it scares me. So he's one of his comments from yesterday was that he well, I'll tell you the whole thing. He said he thinks that, he says temperatures are going to go down. Watch. And now Trump supporters are going to say, "Oh, he was kidding. He was kidding." And a scientist on the side of him said, I don't think so, Mr. President. I hope you're right, but I don't think so. And he said, and the scientist said, well, science says otherwise. I'm not going to sit here and repeat and memorize all of the records that we've broke in the last 20 years, from the year 2000 up. This is the hottest year on record, the second hottest, and the top 5 hottest years on record have been probably in the last 10 years. I haven't even looked them up, but it's obvious to anybody that wants to see it. And he denies this. And then it just struck me when he said that he says that the temperatures are going to go back down. Believe me. And it just brought back something in me. To me, it sounded so much like back in January, when he said only 5 people have the virus. It's one of these days, it's just going to disappear. Believe me. Same exact thing. And we know for a fact that he was lying to us then. He was not telling us the truth. He was padding us from the truth. So now, fast forward to yesterday, when he's sitting down and he's saying that the temperatures are going to go down. Believe me. And then he says, and then, like I said, the scientists say, well, science says otherwise. And then Trump responds, well, I don't think science really knows. And it's just denial of science. If we don't have trust in our doctors, in our scientists, in these people, we're in trouble as a country. We are in serious trouble as a country. We're going backwards, while the rest of the world is moving forward. Again, this is probably one of the climate change, the denial, and the denial of science are the things that just make me adamant that we have to have a change in November. This cannot go on for 4 more years. All right, and then I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do another video because I want to tell you guys about the proliferation of Trump signs in this town. And I actually had a conversation with 2 of the homeowners. As you guys know, I exercise, I walk, I ride my bike around this entire town every single day. And I had the opportunity to talk to 2 Trump supporters. And I want to tell you guys, this will be the next video, about how they exclusively, from what I understood, they exclusively get their information from Fox News, and why they trust Donald Trump so much. That'll be the next video. All right, you guys, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you in a while. Have a good Tuesday.